Ever wondered how to open a bank account in Canada as a non-resident? You're not alone. Many people find themselves in a similar situation looking to establish a financial foothold in the Great White North. Whether you're an international student, a potential immigrant, or just someone seeking to invest in Canada, having a bank account can be an invaluable resource. There are, however, certain challenges and misconceptions surrounding this process. It's common to think that you might need to be a Canadian citizen or resident to open a bank account, or that the process is overly complicated and time-consuming, but that's not necessarily the case. We're here to guide you through the process. Our goal? To make things as easy and straightforward as possible. We'll debunk the myths, explain the requirements, and walk you through the steps needed to open your Canadian bank account. So buckle up and get ready to navigate the Canadian banking system. Stay tuned as we unravel the steps to make this process easy and straightforward for you. To begin, you need to know the requirements. Opening a bank account in Canada, whether you're a resident or not, requires a few key pieces of information that are imperative for the process. Firstly, valid identification is essential. This could be your passport, driver's license, or any government-issued ID that clearly states your full name and date of birth. Remember, the identification should be current and not expired, as expired IDs won't be accepted. Secondly, proof of address is required. This could be a utility bill, a lease agreement, or even a letter from your employer or school verifying your residential address. This document must clearly state your full name and residential address. If you're a non-resident, you'll still need to provide a Canadian address where you can be contacted. Lastly, you'll need a valid social insurance number or an individual tax number. A social insurance number, or SIN, is a 9-digit number that you need to work in Canada or to have access to government programs and benefits. If you're a non-resident, you might not have a SIN, but you can apply for an individual tax number, or ITN. This is a unique 9-digit number issued to non-residents who need an identification number but who aren't eligible for a SIN. Now that we know what's needed, we move on to the actual process. Opening a bank account in Canada as a non-resident involves a few critical steps. Let's break it down into simple, easy-to-follow steps. Firstly, you need to choose the right bank. Canada has several reputable banks to choose from. Some are internationally recognized, like the Royal Bank of Canada and the Bank of Montreal. Others are more local, like the Toronto Dominion Bank and the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. Each bank has its own set of benefits and drawbacks, such as different fees, services, and accessibility. It's important to do some research and choose a bank that best fits your needs. Once you've chosen your bank, it's time to prepare the necessary documents. Usually, you'll need 2 pieces of identification, one of which must have a photo. This could be a passport, driver's license, or other government-issued ID. Additionally, some banks may ask for proof of residence, like a utility bill or lease agreement. It's always a good idea to check with the bank beforehand to make sure you have all the documents you need. Next, you'll need to fill out an application form. This can typically be done online or at a physical branch, depending on the bank. The application form will ask for your personal information, such as your name, date of birth, and contact information. It will also ask about your financial history and current financial situation. Be sure to fill out the form accurately and thoroughly, as any errors could delay the process. Finally, after submitting your application, you'll need to wait for approval. The length of this waiting period can vary from bank to bank, but it's usually a matter of days. During this time, the bank will review your application and check your credit history. If everything is in order, they'll open your account and send you the details, including your new account number and how to set up online banking. It's quite straightforward, isn't it? But remember, the process doesn't end there. In wrapping up, here are some tips and reminders. As you embark on this journey to open a bank account in Canada, it's vital to compare the features and fees of various banks. Don't just settle for the first one you come across. Do your research. Look at the services they offer, the convenience of their locations, and their online banking capabilities. Take note of any monthly fees, transaction fees, and international transfer fees. Next, ensure all your documents are correct and up to date. Accuracy is the cornerstone of a smooth process. A simple typo could result in unnecessary delays, so double-check everything. Make sure your identification is valid and your proof of address is recent. Remember, the process isn't always instant. Patience is key. It could take a few days or even a couple of weeks to get your account up and running. That's completely normal. Don't let it discourage you. It's also important to stay proactive. follow up with the bank if you haven't heard back in a while. A gentle nudge can help keep things moving along and show the bank that you're serious about becoming a customer. Lastly, don't be afraid to ask questions. You're entrusting your hard-earned money to this institution, so you have every right to fully understand their policies and procedures. With these steps and tips, opening a bank account in Canada should be an achievable task even for non-residents. Good luck.